Hey guys, Just Ash here, and I hope you've got your tea because today we're talking about tropes again. The tropes I'm going to talk about in this video are relating to magical girl animes. Now, please remember that tropes are common and not universal, so there will be some characters and series that don't conform to the tropes I'm going to mention in this video, and that is okay. Please just remember that before you decide to point it out in the comments. Also, this video will not contain every trope from every magical girl anime because I will be here for years talking about them. So instead, I'm just going to present a selection of tropes with a few examples. Okay, so now that's out of the way, what makes a magical girl anime? Because a girl who uses magic isn't necessarily a magical girl. They often have preteen or teenage protagonists who are usually female. Nope, I said usually because there are some magical boy animes out there and they are absolutely hilarious. These animes also tend to have a coming-of-age story or a wake-up, go-to-school, save-the-world kind of plot. However, within this umbrella, there are three very broad categories that you can loosely sort most magical girl series into. The first is neoclassical. This includes series like Cardcaptor Sakura and the Pretty Cure franchise. They follow the traditional coming-of-age stories, but with more contemporary roles for the female characters. These series also tend to be aimed more towards younger girls. The second category are the magical action girls, things like Magical Girl Lyrical Noah. Series in this category tend to put a lot more emphasis on fighting and the warrior type of characters. And this isn't surprising, seeing as they tend to be aimed more towards teenage and adult males. Finally, we have the deconstructive series. These are things like Madoka Magica and Yuki Yuna is a Hero. They focus more on darker themes and the juxtaposition of teenage girls fighting pure evil. The plots tend to focus more on darker themes and emotions and how the actual plot itself affects the characters. So, now we're all caught up on what makes a magical girl anime, let's move on to the tropes. The first thing most people think of when they hear magical girl anime is the transformation sequence. The most prevalent example of this is probably from Sailor Moon. These sequences often occur when the characters need to power up and get ready for action. What happens in them is the girl who's transforming hovers in the air while her normal regular clothes kind of melt away and her costume kind of shimmers into existence. This is usually triggered by some sort of transformation phrase or a transformation trinket. The trinket is normally a piece of jewellery or some other accessory that is worn with the costume. However, in more modern anime, it can also be things like a mobile phone, like in Yuki Yuna, where the girls use an app to transform. The idea of a transformation trinket can also be played with. For example, in Cardcaptor Sakura, it's actually the trinket itself that transforms. Her little key pendant becomes a magical star, and her costumes are provided by Tomoyo, her best friend. Now, a lot of the tropes related to magical girls tend to be more prevalent when you take the main character or leader of the magical girl team. These include tropes such as being the clumsy yet endearing chosen one, and they may also have a non-human sidekick or a muggle best friend. For non-human sidekicks, obviously Sailor Moon's Luna springs to mind, but this is a more popular trope than you might think. For example, Sakura has Kiro and Cardcaptors. There are various familiars throughout Lyrical Noah, and all of the non-human characters in Pretty Cure count for this as well. As for Muggle best friends, these are characters that don't have magical powers, but exist more as an audience substitute, so that some of the more fantastical elements can be explained in a way that doesn't come across as silly because all the characters should know this already. The main character of a magical girl series may also be heavily associated with the colour pink. For example, Sailor Moon, and I'm really sorry a lot of these examples come from Sailor Moon, but it's one of my favourite magical girl series, so I've watched it a lot and I know it kind of inside out. Anyway, in Sailor Moon, all of Usagi's transformation sequences involve pink ribbons surrounding her. Tokyo Mew Mew's Ichigo has pink hair and eyes, and a pink dress, and a pink weapon while transformed. And the same goes for Cardcaptor Sakura, whose wand is pink, the captured cloud cards turn pink when they become Sakura cards, her most iconic dress is pink. However, this might be because her name means cherry blossom in Japanese. In fact, this trope even bleeds into the deconstructive series. Yuna's transformed form has pink hair and a pink dress, as does Madoka from Madoka Magica. Typically, all of these characters are surrounded by pink because it denotes that they are the main character or the leader of the team if it's an ensemble anime. Plot-wise, these anime tend to be more Monster of the Week focused, and they may even have a lesson to be learned in each and every episode. Often, they will focus on friendship and relationships, which isn't surprising considering most of them involve teenage girls who are still at high school, and some anime also include a theme that runs throughout the entire series. A perfect example of this is the environmentalist theme in Tokyo Mew Mew. The characters who make up the magical girl group are all infused with the DNA of endangered animals, and they're fighting aliens who want to reclaim Earth because they are upset with the humans polluting it. The plot will often also include a romance subplot. Common love interest tropes include things like the jerk with a heart of gold. However, they can quickly devolve into the useless boyfriend. This is when the love interest is perfectly capable of handling himself and even protecting the girls, up until the whole team assembles and suddenly he is the damsel in distress who needs rescuing. Another popular subplot is the in love with my alter ego story. This is where one character is interested in another, but the second character is in love with the first person's alter ego. Basically, it's a two-person love triangle. This sort of plot appears quite often, with examples in Tokyo Mew Mew, Pretty Cure, Mermaid Melody, Pitchy Pitchy Pitch, and of course, Sailor Moon. And I think that's it for this video. What tropes have you noticed in magical girl animes? Please leave them in the comments below, and remember, if you've liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And as always, pour yourself a nice cup of tea and join me next Friday at 8 for the next video.